Hello. Well, Matt, welcome to the pre-show hangout with 5 of us Dungeon Scrawlers plus Steven's green screen. If it's showing up.
He's muted his face this time.
We're gonna have Stefan again, but he's still on his way. Yep. Oh, he's just popping in right now. Awesome.
Arriving.
Maybe he has a black screen. Anyway, what's up, everybody?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
Got here in time for the hangout.
We were talking about what the subject of the discussion topic of the week was going to be, and we did not come to any conclusions, I don't think.
We have been having beautiful sunny week. Has anybody enjoyed the sunny week in any particular? We have grilled a lot this week.
Oh, yeah, I need to break out the grill.
Same. This is actually my first year as an adult where I'm not working restaurants in the summer, and I'm trying very hard to manually shift my mentality to not hating the idea of warm weather and instead enjoying it. So this might be the first summer I ever actually get to just have a good time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Season of the new Stefan.
I'll hate it for you. My apartment doesn't have good temperature control.
It was really funny when you started saying that. You're like, this is my first summer as an adult. And I'm like, oh. You're like, not working. Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
Yay, congrats.
That D&D, it'll put hair on your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you, Ron, about warm fucking summers. I don't think the apartments around here were built for having as much heat as we have nowadays.
No.
Like, as nice as it's been in the last week, my wife's a scientist, and so she's very, very much like hooked into all of like the environmental news and everything. And she's just like, it shouldn't be 80 degrees in April. That's just not a thing that should happen.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping I can, because I was starting to like look for other places because I'm going to move, and I'm like, all the ones in my price range aren't old enough. Because like new build, they start putting in air conditioners, but like I don't quite know where that cutoff is, but it's not cutoff where things become affordably priced when you're looking at apartments. So I'm like, okay, let's go for plan B, which is get a place that's big enough that I can actually fit like an air conditioning like window unit.
Smart.
Because this place, like, none of the windows are quite like in a place where I could put a window unit and like a freestanding unit. Like it's so big. Yeah. Like I looked at it in the store and I'm like, I can't have that in my apartment. I just can't. I'd be like walking around it like this.
We learned.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Oh wait, I opened up Roll20 just now, and are we back?
No, I'm prepping for the game. Don't worry about it.
Don't give anything away, Stefan.
Twist. What's behind the door? It's Briar House.
Oh my god! I can't believe
gonna make a teleportation
time for some
joke.
planar fuckery.
But like that is completely possible. We do that now. We just like teleport back to Briar House. It's not a funny joke to be like, oh yeah, we just teleported there.
I was gonna say we end up doing the dance of like, okay, the sun is here. Okay, now close all of the blinds and open the windows on the other side of the house. And we have a house fan that you can turn on. So when the temperature outside gets cooler than the inside, you turn on the house fan and you like crack all the windows in like just the right way so that you get a breeze going through. And it's enough, except for that, there's that 1 or 2 heat waves in the summer where it's like, nope, air conditioner time.
Oh, yeah. I remember there was that one really, really bad smoky week we had last year, and it was deep in COVID, so I couldn't go anywhere, but I couldn't open any of my windows because of all the smoke, and then it was like 90 degrees, and so it was just hot in my apartment, and so I just closed all of the blinds and closed all of the windows and just sat alone in the dark in my apartment. It was very sad.
It was this weird catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
It's like, don't be inside because COVID spreads inside. Open your windows. Oh, but don't open your windows because of the smoke.
Because everything's on fire.
I remember that because I do this we have a shed in the backyard that's our office, but there's no like filtration. So you couldn't be out here. It was horrible. And so I had to make like a little makeshift corner of my bedroom with these like curtains up. And then it was so hot that my glasses, because I couldn't wear my contacts that week, my glasses were fogging up in that little like enclosed corner. It was not fun.
Yeah, I remember like rushing to get to the library because I had this plan, like seeing that the smoke was rolling in. I reserved at the library for a curbside pickup, like 1 million graphic novels. And I'm like, I will just lay in my bed and like read comics and it will be great, right?
My God, that sounds like an awesome plan.
Yeah,
I'm sorry it didn't work out.
Had it only worked. So like I was waiting for the reservations to come in because like library staff, there wasn't as many of them pulling them and whatever. And then they're in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like get off work and I gotta drive to curbside and I like drive there and the parking lot's empty. I'm like, no, kids. They closed curbside because they couldn't be outside in the smoke. And it had gotten bad enough smoke. So like the smoke and like my holds coming in, like they hit at the same time. So and then there was no more curbside for like all of the super awful bad smoke, like 7 or 8 days. So my holds were just like hanging out inside the library on a shelf, not in my hands.
Excellent.
Stefan, how's the stream going?
Stream?
Yeah, the Warhammer.
Oh, my Warhammer channel. It's going great. I don't know why so many people care, but I've almost hit 2,000 subscribers, and that's just such a
Nice.
Nice.
Right?
Man.
Like it's a crazy thought to me. But I guess it's just I'm super consistent with my content. Like every Thursday I put out a new video, and it's bizarre that people care so much about me painting little plastic army guys and throwing dice on the table and taking them off. Like
Do anything with enough charisma and somebody's going to want to watch it.
Yeah,
that's what my wife says. She's like, oh, people just like to see you talk. They don't care what it is.
Yeah. The other thing is, I mean, in terms of games, so many people don't have a game that they're part of, but it really fills a hole in their life to watch somebody else play.
Absolutely, like Let's Plays and board game streams and things. Like it's a lot of people, especially in this last year, just haven't been able to get out of their house and go see friends, or maybe they just move to a new city or they do something for work and they just don't have a group that they can use. So being able to if you get excited about a new, I don't know, Scythe was a big one. I remember for some reason that was like big in like the streaming circles. Like if there's a new game out that you're really into, but you don't have any friends who are into it, you can watch other people play it. And it's not the same, but it hits a lot of those same like endorphin things, watching people draw cards and play and hang out. It's the same reason, I'm convinced it's the same reason we watch sports.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 75% of the same reason.
I can't play football, but I can watch other people play it. You know, I just don't have time to play football.
It's just the time element, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, you know, I was gonna say too, Stefan. You don't even need to be on the screen. You could just do like Warhammer AMSR, like with your voice. You could be like, and I'm painting a little figure. Let's paint his little gun. Oh yeah.
Just every now and then, it just roll some dice. Just have that sound.
Yeah. The nice click, a gentle clatter, 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 clatter.
Yeah, and every now and again, you just lose your shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my! I've gotten paint on my shirt. Oh, take it off.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
I better pick it up.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you make money off those ideas, you need to give us a cut.
Oh yeah. I see the chat is talking about this too. I wanted to give a brief shout out to Shay, who is doing a Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough on Twitch or on YouTube, something like that.
On YouTube, I'm pretty sure.
She'll give links, and it's probably mentioned in our Discord. If she hasn't posted in the Promote Yourself channel, she's being a bad half drow and really should go promote herself.
She has been at least 2 episodes, I think.
I don't know if I'm promoting myself in the Promote Yourself.
Yeah, why aren't you doing that, Stefan?
Yeah. Please do.
You know what? If nothing else, you're modeling it for other people to be proud of their work.
That's right.
But you should also be proud of your work. But
Yes, someone on this channel reminded me to promote my own work
Yeah.
on Discord because
I'll-
I have a book coming up, coming out on May 5th. So
Oh, cool.
Yes, I was just. It's exciting. I was just going to say too, like this is, there's those things again that constantly make me suspect that we really are in the Matrix, and like things that I haven't heard of in like forever, all of a sudden come up like everywhere or something like that. But like, and this past week, like, so Aaron, I was listening into the Champions of Lore, which was was ostensibly about the Gith, but then they went off on Spelljammer ships for a while. Yeah.
mhm.
And they went off on Spelljammer ships. And then Eric released the cover image of his new World of Ruin book. And I couldn't help but think, oh, that looks a bit Spelljammer to me. Like
it kind of does, doesn't it?
Oh, it
Yeah.
does. The ring around the ship and everything.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is such a rad cover, though.
It took
It
such a
is.
long time to explain to my publisher what I wanted it to look like. She's like, okay, so a ship with like rings going around it. I'm like, uh-huh. And she's like this? I'm like, no. Like this? No. I'll find some pictures for you and send them. And then she said she
But
had
they
the
were
artist
working with you.
do up a couple sketches, and I'm like, I'm not explaining this very well. But, we got to it eventually, and I'm very happy with how it looks. Yeah, the World of Ruin has a bunch of sky ships, they're called, and which are for transportation and for war. So.
Both together. Soldering asks what I'm eating. I'm having a pork chop with romesco sauce and some braised greens and some of what are called grillin beans. That's what the can said. They're spicy and they're sweet, and it might be a little much for me. Sorry.
Oh, Eric, I just popped
There's
up.
absolutely no way for me to eat dinner until now. And I cannot survive until after. So
I just
Did
popped
you
up cover of your
grill?
book.
Did you grill the grilling beans, or did you
No,
bake the
and-
grilling beans?
let me say the question of can you grill grillin beans? My husband was like, why? I'm like, you could put the can on the grill, couldn't you? Like you're a cowboy or camping or something. Because he honestly thought I meant
the
like
cover.
dump the beans out on the grill. I'm like, what? Did you think I was like having a mental break?
I mean, I guess I pictured like really long beans. I haven't seen these, but
Oh, it's like baked
like
beans.
green beans.
It's
Oh,
like
okay.
baked beans
Gotcha.
with extra spices and a
Oh, hey,
hello,
Raiders
Raiders.
just showed up. Hello.
You're here to
Hey,
hear us
D&D
talk
instead
about
of
beans.
Yeah.
The better topic.
I don't know if you expected
Beans,
D&D, but
magical
we're chatting
fruit.
about beans.
Yeah, we're the new bean channel.
yeah.
There was the bean guy before, but he did kind of a bad job. So we're the bean channel now. Just gonna talk about beans.
Yeah.
This is the hangout portion in all series of our, and then in 6:30 we begin our game. So in 15
Hey, but check out
minutes,
the cover of my book. It's right there. You can see
Yeah.
it right there.
pretty awesome. We are a stream of authors. We're all Forgotten Realms and fantasy authors. So
They are not
Sci-fi.
magic, but they are too sweet, I will say.
That is
Yeah.
one, like, harkening back to the my YouTube channel thing. Like, so every now and then I'll get a few, like, I'll get a story published somewhere, I'll do some work in a game or something, and I get some feedback for it, and it's really nice. But just like, I've never, with the YouTube channel, I've never had just immediate direct feedback from so many people before, and it's bizarre.
What do they
Usually I'll spend like months writing a short story, send it out, maybe get a response, and then have a few people read it and go, that was nice. And nowadays, like, I'll post a video and then I'll just have a bunch of people either criticize or compliment. It's bizarre getting immediate feedback. I've never experienced that before.
well, now Kindle Vella is supposedly going to do that with it's the new Kindle serialized short stories, and
Oh, neat.
as well as the serialization. Because I read the whole thing. I don't think it's for me, but there was something about like allowing comments. So it seems much more like the sort of like fan fiction serials in that way, where like, people can be like, oh, I want the next part, or whatever, to the author. I know that would like
you get a
freeze
little
me.
crown to put
Yeah,
on
yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite every week.
Mm.
You buy things with tokens. Which
It is
Yeah, that's
we like. We're slowly transitioning into that cyberpunk future, and I don't even notice it until I'm like walking down the street and I see a hand like printed sign for like, we sell pizza in our driveway. Only pay us with your phone. And it's like, oh man, that transitioned somewhere. Like they don't accept cash.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about Bitcoin. That's like what blows my mind.
That I don't even like. That's a. I have no idea. I get up, walk out of the room whenever people talk about cryptocurrency.
Not a thing.
Yeah.
what if somebody says NFT? Chris, aren't those like gone again? I hope.
I don't know.
I hope
That's one of those where I'm like, okay, do whatever you're doing, but do it over there.
Yeah.
Can I
If
interest you
I'm a
in
Luddite,
this?
I'm a Luddite, but no.
Can I interest you in this low-res picture of a Warhammer mini? It's worth $20,000.
I don't even understand. It doesn't make any sense. How
It makes sense to some people. I'm not convinced those people are not trying to trick us all.
I mean,
Well, I think it's British because I seem to recall I first encountered it in like historical mysteries. But there's this phrase, more money than sense,
Yeah.
that I
Yep.
feel like applies to a sector of the population that are the people who are buying things like NFTs.
It's NFTs, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. Whenever anybody talks about any of those things, I'm just like, okay, goodbye. I guess we'll just catch up when we talk about things I understand.
yeah.
I guess our conversation was over. All right, see ya.
It's like being a fighter and listening to like wizards and sorcerers talk about the reagents for their spells. I'm just like, sure, this makes sense, I guess.
Like, I did not study this school of magic. Goodbye.
Yeah. So, hey, I have a question, a character question to like, if you want to get kind of start thinking in character. As a
Oh,
warm-up.
yeah, we did talk about doing that, didn't we?
If you want to
All right.
ask a question. or two.
Ask your question, Randy.
Okay. So you walk out of a shop in Westgate and realize you accidentally just shoplifted. How did your character react? Yes, Steven.
Steven's like, accidentally? What are you talking about?
Like, I meant to do that on purpose.
I'm so good. I don't even know when I'm stealing.
How'd I get these? How'd I get these items in my pocket? Oh well. Who do do do.
And what do you think you would have accidentally shoplifted?
Ah,
Oh, goodbye,
Uh-oh.
Steven.
Magic.
Steven,
What are you? What am I doing?
Stealth
Something?
mode.
You turned off your
your
camera.
camera went down.
Oh,
So
sorry.
you moved.
I'm doing something important and you've distracted me.
Oh, sorry.
Is it being on the
see,
stream?
see,
Okay.
Look at my green screen. I need to put something on the green screen. And
Ah,
you keep like saying my name and distracting.
Don't you put the same thing on your green screen
Steven.
every week?
Steven,
With that, yes, but it's
Trying to
not
shake it
there.
up.
You see.
Oh.
Huh.
all right. Let's answer let's answer Randy's question.
What's
Okay,
happening
Yang
now?
Yang, Stong. What did Stong accidentally steal and how does he feel about it?
Oh, well, I think the first thing Stone would do when he noticed that, he would just yell out loud, "Oh my God, I've shoplifted!" And then he would turn around and then
Oh,
run
very
back
much
in
so.
and then apologize and pay. And he's probably most likely to shoplift. Probably like food. Like I imagine like living in a household with like 4 children, they eat like a ton of stuff all the time. So he's just constantly going to the grocery store.
And then Lydia would show up and put you in jail again.
Oh gosh.
Levia.
Levia.
Yeah, you broke your probation. Yeah.
Like Levi's, but with an A instead of an S.
Yeah. She'd be like,
just try all the
"Oh,
vowels. We'll get there.
All right, Rhiannon. So Artemisia has just walked out of the store. What did she shoplift, and how did she react?
I'm thinking probably earrings
Mhm.
because she was trying them on, and then she was trying on like 6 other things, and so then like she just like got her bag and then walked out, and they were still in her ears. So she's definitely not going to keep walking, but I don't think she's going to fess up either. So I'm thinking like she takes them out and like palms them as much as she can. She doesn't have sleight of hand skill. And goes in and is like, oh, I, dropped a copper piece or something, and you see it. And it wouldn't be money, but I was like, what do we have when there's not like that much paper around? Like she wouldn't set her notebook down, but like, because normally I'd be like, oh, I forgot my receipt or my and so while she's looking for that, she would just be like, oh, I'm standing near the counter and now you're in your possession. It wasn't like I had them briefly and took
You
them out.
walk in and just drop them and be like, someone dropped some earrings on the floor.
And you would
I'll get
fail your
them.
stealth roll, and it just gets more and more awkward. Yeah.
Well, unless it was a charisma roll, if she was like, oh, I remembered, I wanted to ask you, shopkeeper, like, how are your kids? Like, that's what she should do. And then
Keep looking this way, not over here.
Part of me is like, this is how Artemisia ends up accidentally finding a new supplier for some god-awful series of scarves or something, where it's like you get into this conversation of like, oh, I just really wanted to see these again. Bloop. And then you're like, I will buy some scarves and sell them in the shop. That's why I came back.
How did we end up in a business arrangement?
But you know what? It turns out everybody likes those scarves.
Well, that's
Like, that's the twist.
That's funny. Okay, Aaron. So Cecilia has just walked out of a store, accidentally having shoplifted something. What did she shoplift, and how does she react?
I feel like the only thing Cecilia like goes shopping for is like food, like fancy food.
Okay.
And I think Cecilia's response would be like, if they didn't catch me, then they probably didn't want it that bad. Plus, they're not going to give back food. Nobody wants the food she's been touching. That's gross. If they do, they should not be in business.
You could go and pay for it, though.
I feel like this is a, natural consequences to
Okay, so does Artemisia need to go ask the like grocery store guy about his kids while she like puts coins on the counter? Does this
Don't
need
do
to happen?
that. You're drawing attention to it.
Yeah, I feel like Artemisia might be one of those characters where, like, let's say it's the earrings, right? Like, she, like, has them on, and then, like, the shopkeeper sees her with them, and he's like, oh my god, you look so good with those earrings. You should just keep them. But you need to become, like, my model now, or something.
It does feel like the kind of thing where you get into a shenanigans spiral.
Nice.
I will say if Cecilia accidentally stole from Marius from the Salt Center Provisions, she would just go back in and be like, I took this. She might pay him, or she might tell him that he should get Lathaka to watch better. Or
I
both.
accidentally stole these things. Not really, though. Like, it wasn't really an accident.
No, Cecilia would not. I don't think Cecilia would ever be like, yeah, I did this on purpose. She would probably be like, well, this is your problem, not my problem. I don't think she has enough malice to steal things purposefully, unless I guess if the shopkeeper was really quite horrible, she might think she was justified. But her stealth isn't great. Her sleight of hand isn't great. So I assume whatever, it has to be an accident.
I mean, you would just banish whatever the item is and then
Just
pick it
banish
up
some
like
stuff.
minutes later. Yeah.
I wonder how shops in the Forgotten Realms like prepare for that kind of theft. Like somebody walking in, just touching an item and it vanishes. Like they don't even need to. Like, that's got to be a common-ish problem, right?
Well, but aren't supposedly like spellcasters not that common as they are in adventuring parties?
We say that, but
right. Like I guess is the thing is like they're not that common, but still they exist in most settlements. And so do you just let that person run wild? Do you just hope they're a moral individual? Or do you put some kind of anti-magic zone on your shop? Because you're like, the shrinkage is killing me.
Well, it's 6:25. I'm not sure if we have time for that answer. Did somebody else want to answer that question before we go to the recap, though?
We didn't do Rogar's answer.
Mine really quickly, it'd probably be like I got some rare bulb as a gift for Ruin I'm thinking, but then I was so distracted thinking about how happy he was going to be when I gave it to him that I just wandered out. And then I feel super guilty about stealing it. And then I think, oh, but maybe he'd like that I stole it. That's a little wild and dangerous. But then I feel guilty about that. And then just go in this guilt spiral. And eventually I'd try to go back in and quietly like pay for it.
Rumpus Imperator does want to know if anyone is speaking from experience here. I assume accidental shoplifting.
I shoplifted when I was a kid a little bit.
Yeah.
I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks or whatever. So yeah, I was saved by the fact that I was a hoarder once. Like I had some stuff and like they said, hey, you up here, empty your pockets onto the counter. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Rubber Hulk, my whatever, like all these junk and toys and all this stuff in my pockets. And finally, like it was piling up. The customers were lining up behind me and he's like, get your stuff and go. I'm like, okay.
Were you a child in an 80s movie?
I pretty much was, yes. I was a child in the 80s, so a child of the 80s. Not to date myself, but.
Does anybody else have any other minor crimes they'd like to confess before we go to the recap theater?
I mean, so like
Okay,
Playmobil, right? At Goodwill, they had like this like Playmobil like ship or something, and usually Playmobil has like little pieces with it, but often at Goodwill like the pieces like fall out and who knows where they are. But this ship like it had a little like hold in it that there was like a little like I don't know ship's cat or something, so it was literally probably a centimeter long, and so I was like, I don't need a ship, but like this is a really cute cat that would go with this other Playmobil that I have as a kid. So from Goodwill I took like this little cat, as opposed to like paying for the entirety of this like ship. It was probably like $6 or $7, man, at Goodwill.
From Goodwill, even.
I know.
Anybody else for the confessional before we go to recap?
I've never stolen anything.
No, I have the accidental like not rung, like something didn't get rung up and I didn't realize it till later. But I've also had the left the grocery store and realized they charged me for something I didn't buy, so I figure it all balances out. Nothing's been big enough to bother with.
Wait, relevant to role-playing games. Why
would you bring it back there?
Is anybody really familiar with Call of Cthulhu?
Vaguely.
Tabletop RPG? It's great. It's a horror RPG. It's awesome.
I know the rules.
Yeah, it's awesome. I ran it when I was 19. I was really into the game, but I was also exceptionally poor. And I wanted to run the game for my friends. I wanted to run the like big renowned campaign, Masks of Nyarlathotep. And I was like, all right, I can't afford it, but what I can do is find it online and then just print out the whole thing and put it in a binder and pretend like I have the book.
Naughty lad.
And the campaign crashed and burned after 2 sessions, and I completely attribute it to the fact that I did not buy the book. I just
karma.
I stole the game, and the game destroyed me. So haven't downloaded RPG material since.
Okay, anybody else for the confessional?
Oh, now you're going to yell about the
We need to
schedule.
do our.
Go to the recap.
I need to grab.
It just gets worse and worse for our heroes, doesn't it? With the battle in Briarhouse done and a prisoner taken, our heroes set about interrogating this captured Night Mask. Now, their methods may have been a little unusual, perhaps not exactly sanctioned by dear Rogar, who thankfully was not present. They were able to get some information, at the very least. Information that revealed that the Night Masks had not been there to kill the Irregulars, but to kill Shiny, which is unusual. What did he ever do to them? But, well, they weren't going to take this sitting down, were they? Now, with Rogar returned, having had some unfortunate nightmares, and a hero's feast enjoyed, the Irregulars took their rest and then set out to the location that the captured Night Mask had told them that he was meant to return to once he'd completed the job. The location indicated turned out to be the ruins of an old Temple de Chantea, or whatever she's called in Rashomon, I can't remember. Fallen to ruin, the buildings around it scorched and burned. Now, it wasn't clear whether this was done a long time ago or whether this was a result of Stong's little escapades when he was briefly evil, but regardless, our heroes went inside and discovered what appeared to be at least one dismembered body and a whole mess of trolls. Always has to be trolls, doesn't it? At least none of them were showering. Turns out Shiny, well, that armor's not just for show. And he stood toe-to-toe with these beasts while the others managed to take them out and left them with, I think, more questions than really anything has been answered so far. Well, no questions got answered so far. All we know is that the Night Masks and these trolls seem to be very interested in killing our intrepid paladin. And, well, those answers could lie beyond the next door, couldn't they? I suppose we'll find out. Stay tuned and enjoy the show.